half in the bag. Dealing with not looking at something evil, or it makes you crazy, or it makes you kill yourself, or makes insane people sane but bad. Either way, a whole bunch of people act scared, crazy, or annoying, all while Sandra Bullock acts her way through the movie while loaded up on Valium. Eat shit and die, Netflix.
Her arc of the movie is that she's emotionally closed off from people. So much so that she doesn't want to name her children.
You know what? This movie's so popular. In 2019, Girl and Boy
don't even finish the sentence.
are going to be the most popular names. I named her Girl after my favorite movie, which will always be my favorite movie.
That's like the people that like 10 years ago were naming their kids after Twilight, and now those kids are getting beat up in elementary school.
I also got pregnant while doing the Bird Box Challenge.
I don't know who the father is.
The father is. I just love the film. It changed my life. Yeah, that's going to be all the rage at frat houses. Hey, you girls want to do the Bird Box Challenge? And bro dudes are going to be high-fiving each other. I can see like Bird Box Challenge for mom, you know, trying to work her Facebook page with a blindfold on, you know, but not like boiling a lobster. You know what I mean? But the young people would do something dumb.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hiking in the Grand Canyon, Bird Box style. No.
That's the funny part is enough people have apparently gotten injured where Netflix felt the need to release a statement.
If I were Netflix, I would have bought Holmes and Watson. Who wants to go to the theater to watch that?
That's true.
Say, oh yeah, comedy, Will Ferrell, I'll click. Probably would have gotten 50 million clicks. They would have watched a minute and shut it off.
Yeah.
But then you could claim that it's the most successful Netflix movie ever.
Yeah.
And then everyone would be doing the Holmes and Watson challenge, which is to eat a Tide Pod, or just get really, really, really old and unfunny like Will Ferrell. Even though it's free. And you don't, if you have a Netflix subscription. And
I said that in a video once where I was like, it's free because it's on Netflix. And there were people in the comments that were like, it's not free because you pay for Netflix. It's like, you know what the fuck I mean.
Oh, there's some genuine anger there.
You know what I mean, you assholes.
People love to type up the gotcha comments.
It's the movie Rotten Tomatoes doesn't want anyone to have an opinion on. The movie Dumb Bearded White Guys are protesting.
They're so scared of people actually calling this movie out for what it is, which is feminist propaganda. Now, I haven't seen it.
The movie Other Dumb Bearded White Guys are white knighting. The movie Brie Larson doesn't want us to see.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude.
I don't hate white dudes.
Am I saying that I hate white dudes? No.
The movie that inspired a ton of cheap clickbait articles from terrible online journalists who have no idea how Rotten Tomatoes works. The movie easily manipulated, Twitter-obsessed weirdos have given a ton of free publicity to by convincing themselves this corporate product is a feminist cause. The movie that had charities started for it in order for underprivileged little girls to be able to see, which benefits absolutely nobody but Disney. Buy these fucking poor kids some food instead, you fuckers. If the movie is a hit, it's because society has become enlightened enough to celebrate a female-led action movie. Finally! If the movie is a flop, it's because of toxic online trolls. No other explanations exist. Eat the multi-billion-dollar corporate slop and pretend it's social justice, you weirdos.
I thought the movie was adequate, and then I watched a clip of Brie Larson speaking, and now I hate the movie. She's making it out, at least from what I saw, that there needs to be more diversity in film criticism.
Which is such a small,
It's the least important thing in the whole wide world. You know what I mean?
And we're saying that as people that review movies.
You can't make Mach 1, you're just a girl! And then... and she's flying the plane, and I'm a man! You can't do better than me! And she cuts him off, and then he crashes into a manure truck. Bring along your friend, Black Lady, so that she knows how to fly the spaceship at the end of the film. A movie about a black transgendered prostitute doesn't speak to a 40-year-old white man But I could bet you dollars to donuts, a whole bunch of 40-year-old white men gave that movie a good review. She's technically now the first Avenger.
She's technically now the first Avenger. They got to retitle that.
Get rid of that white dude!
They got to retitle Captain America movie. No Doubt starts playing for no reason. I mean, I guess you can do that. Other movies use pop songs, but in that instance, if it was a action scene on Earth, maybe it'd be fine. But in that situation, it just seemed bizarre.
If it was diegetic music.
It was a weird choice.
Well, it's just a girl, I'm just a girl.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I get
There's
it.
a message there. I don't know if there was a message with Nirvana, Come As You Are. Maybe that's how she learns to be who she really is.
I actually like shifted in my seat because I could feel Kurt Cobain rolling in his grave underneath me.
Kurt Cobain was incinerated, Jay,
Oh.
and his ashes scattered to the wind after Courtney Love him. Endgame is the perfect name for the next film.
And then take a break. They won't, but they should.
Well, we have Spider-Man Far From Home coming out.
Yeah.
Although that's going to be, I assume that's going to be a pre-Infinity War storyline.
I don't
Look,
know
Spider-Man
anymore.
turned to dust just like Kurt Cobain, okay? Thanos got him. So yeah, it's got to be pre-Infinity War.
Or it's post, and the entire existence of the movie is a spoiler.
Yes. This takes place after Endgame.
Oh.
Spoilers, they beat Thanos and changed history. Now Spider-Man's in Rome. Over time, the kid, something, whatever the hero's name was.
Billy.
Billy Peltzer. It's a much better film about family than Star Wars The Last Jedi, which is not about family.
What is The Last Jedi about?
It's about a woke lady with pink hair ramming a spaceship into a Star Destroyer. It's about a woke lady with pink hair teaching you that men are wrong about everything. That's what Star Wars The Last Jedi is about. Mr. Wood, Superman's head isn't in frame.
Nobody will notice.
Nobody will notice. It's the costume that they'll see. Don't you want to tilt the camera up, Mr. Wood? Oh, they tilt the camera up and Superman's going like this with the tape. That's actually David F. Sandberg's chiropractor.
He kind of looks a little like Henry Cavill if he covers his face.
All the kids are like, why is Superman covering his face like a vampire? He comes out with the beer and then they start drinking it. And I heard a mom go, oh no, with kids over.
Because, you see the little kid drinking a beer.
And I was like, they did that in 2019? And then, they spit it out and they say it tastes like puke or something.
Yeah.
And then the mom goes, oh, good. It's like, oh, no. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I've got a 12-year-old at home. He's going to start drinking. And I was like, okay. My selfish grown-up humor version of me wants to see, like, them drunk Shazam wandering around and the other kid throwing up in a toilet. And there was one lonely bearded man in our theater who came by himself. And it's like, well, you don't have a friend to go with. If you have a lady, she either didn't want to go, or you don't have a lady, and you don't have children, but you're a grown man that wants to watch Shazam. Just stay home. Just stay home. You can wait for it to come out in video. Just stay at home and masturbate. Don't come to Shazam by yourself. At least you don't have to suffer the indignity of going up to the ticket agent and going, one for Shazam.
That's true. You can just use the little Autobot Matron now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no one knows what you're
No one's looking. It's like you're walking into a porno theater. You're like looking over your
Right,
shoulder.
right.
One for Shazam.
Don't wear your Shazam t-shirt.
It's not a kid's movie, but it certainly appeals to kids more than like a Batman v Superman or Man of Steel, which are just like miserable nightmares. But those movies do have their fans. There's people that defend the Zack Snyder stuff and that sort of darker DC cinematic universe. It's different than the Marvel movies because it's edgy. Like then they go see this movie and it's like cute shenanigans.
Shazam isn't part of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Not my Shazam.
Not my hashtag, not my Shazam.
Right.
Shazam should be fucking ripping people's heads off and smoking. When we drank that beer, he should have chugged the beer and then threw the bottle at some bitch's head.
Oh, Jay, you've encapsulated the DC fanboy perfectly. The Manson family broke into a different house.
Yes.
And there was a Hollywood stuntman / war hero
With a fucking vicious dog.
who beat up Bruce Lee earlier in the film, who is on acid but has an attack dog, well-trained attack dog, who's the sweetest dog the whole film until he gave it its command. Chopper, sick balls. Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You've got to include this, this, and this. This has to be this long. This you have to add this for this market. You have to add blah, blah, blah. And here it's
You can't have a scene that's 35 minutes long that is just establishing that Leonardo DiCaprio fucks up a line of dialogue.
right.
They'll say you can't have a 10-minute scene where the only thing that happens is Brad Pitt feeds his dog. That's like my favorite scene in the movie.
Despite his horrific violence, Quentin Tarantino remains a national treasure because he makes weird, fucked up movies, and you don't know what they're going to be about. They're something else.
Yeah.
They're not a Marvel movie.
Well, and like
Another
you said,
Marvel movie.
it's important to see movies that are that challenge you.
I just had a visual image of Quentin Tarantino standing on stage with his Phase 5 films. just 5 movies up there, and him go. Here's my corporate plan for the next 6 years. 2020, 2021. 2022, 2023.
That's the world I want to live in. Keep making movies, Tarantino. I know you've said you're going to stop soon, but please don't leave.
Did you see that quote about J.J. Abrams, Tarantino?
Oh, or he's like, fuck that.
I just want to hug him because he's like, what is a Calvin universe?
Yeah.
It's like David Lynch yelling with his earpiece in.
He's like,
what is a Calvin universe?
There's Kirk and there's Spock
Yeah.
and they're this and they're this.
I don't know what that crap is. That J.J. Abrams crap. Star Trek happened. It was the 60s show, and I'm making this. I don't know what that crap is. J.J. Abrams is garbage. His films are a garbage can. That Calvin is crap. What is that?
Can I just say how fun it was to see Leonardo DiCaprio edited into shitty Italian movies?
Oh, yes.
That was a great little detail too.
That whole sequence.
We've seen so many shitty Italian movies on Best of the Worsts.
When Leo said, I don't want to do fucking Italian westerns. They're fucking garbage. And I just said, I hear you, Leo. I hear you.
Although I don't know if they show Hilary Duff's feet in that movie. Her dirty feet. Why is everybody's feet in this movie dirty? Is that his new thing? Tarantino's new thing? It used to just be feet. Now it's got to be dirty feet.
Yeah, the Manson girls' feet probably dirty. Just
That
'cause
makes sense.
They're barefoot hippies, but
Margot Robbie puts her feet up on the chair in front of her in the movie theater, and they're filthy.
Tarantino's has an ever-expanding fetish, Jay.
Okay.
Does that foot fetish extend to men? Because Leo's floating around in the pool.
There are lots of men feet in this movie, yeah. So maybe, I don't know.
And dog feet. Brad Pitt's dog was running around. Speaking of time travel, I'd be remiss in my duties if I didn't bring up Star Trek. And the name of this final episode of Star Trek Voyager?
Endgame?
Endgame.
Is it actually? That's pretty fucking amazing.
Jay, am I suggesting this was plagiarized by the Duffer Brothers? I mean,
Duffer Brothers.
I mean the writers of Star Trek Discovery.
She shows up at the beginning. She says one word. She's like, "Hi, I'm here," and then she's like, "I gotta go. Bye."
She had to go and try to remove all those press junket videos of her off YouTube. My first question,
Okay.
and these aren't gripes; these are questions. They may have answers. So if you know the answer, keep it to yourself. So I really don't care.
So it's I guess he just has to sit back and watch while S.H.I.E.L.D. gets taken over by Hydra and all these horrible things happen.
At least he'll know the dangerous spots to avoid.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to go into New York City today, Steve? No, how about we stay home and Netflix and chill? In the last episode of Star Trek Enterprise, you know what that was called? Thanos. But after this, I'm taking a Thanos vacation.
I'm gonna go sit out on the farm and look at the sunset.
Just kind of collect big berries and put them in make my soup.
Yeah.
In my little hut. Until people show up to kill me. I'm just gonna make my soup in my little hut and hang up our Marvel hats and put on our Star Wars hats as we watch beloved franchises go down in flames. Like the Hindenburg.
I guess that's the best thing you can say about this movie. They don't fuck it up. It's not a horrible, embarrassing disaster.
No. There are shows that I didn't know existed that are in their 5th or 6th season. The Flash season 6, Riverdale season 4, Young Justice season 4, Doom Patrol season 2, Titans season 2, Supergirl season 5, Arrow season 8, Black Lightning.
What if she's Data's daughter?
Oh, I've seen that.
Is that a fan thing that's already happened?
She looks nothing like Lal.
No, but who gives a shit? Just do it. Just do it.
I think, okay, there's 6 or 7 stupid
Lal
things you could do.
Lal was rebuilt by the Borg.
Yeah, okay.
That's why she looks different.
It's just like a deck of cards you smear out on the table. Okay, it's Lal. Let's put some Borg parts in her and make her an assassin, because that's stupid.
8,000 fighter ships, because that's a thing that should totally exist in Star Trek.
Whatever gets you to 8,000 fighter ships and a Borg cube that's the size of the sun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This Borg cube is 100 million billion trillion times bigger than the other Borg cubes, because Alex Kurtzman has a big and he drives around a Lamborghini, right? My Borg cube's bigger than your Borg cube. Oh, I know. Nanoprobes made their way into her eggs.
Yeah.
Her female lady eggs, and so she has a child it is the first of its kind. It's a first of its kind. It had nanoprobes in the egg, and that made a superhuman Borg American Indian hybrid.
Mike, why are you so cynical? Our prediction videos are always so wrong.
I don't know if this was the first year that Ghost Adventures was there. they had a room. And They had their cell phones stolen. My favorite pastime is waiting in line for 16 hours.
To hear
just love
people that are working on a project not say anything of note about the project, just that it is a thing that exists. I love standing in lines to be advertised too.
I love being like a farm animal herded into a room to be used as a pawn in a hype machine. You lose your sense of individuality. You lose your sense of objectivity, of being able to look at something and go, I may or may not like this. Me.
Wait, are you talking about Comic-Con or politics?
I'm talking about both. They've merged.
Okay.
They've merged completely.
When you express an opinion on something and people take it personally, because they have invested a bit of their personality into this pop culture thing that they enjoy. That is a problem.
And if you don't
like what you want, don't let it define you as a human. And that's part of the problem too, with like the hype machine and Comic-Con, and especially like Marvel and DC, maybe more so DC.
Look at me, I like ghost hunting programs.
Yeah, and you don't care that everybody calls you an idiot for it.
Right, I enjoy that. I think we should replace the term man-child or man-children with just children. Because grown-ups are now children.
That's true.
Who yell at each other about their playroom. And their playroom is their comic book movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
And it's fairly bizarre.
It is. It's creepy.
The United States is just, the door is wide open for us to get conquered by some other country. Because we have a generation of people who are yelling about Batwoman. Come on in, tanks. You will not get a fight from anyone under 40. You need that sub-label. The
Marvel
sub-label.
After Dark.
Marvel After Dark. There, that's great. Rated R. Rated R. And then the logo. You know how they flip through the comic books, and the logo becomes the Marvel logo. It's just like flipping through sex ads. We just talk about like how they're going to market this, and I think that's what makes us so boring. I think that's why people get angry at us. Yeah, it'll be interesting these next 2 decades when entertainment sorts itself out. We talk
That's the thing is like this
endlessly
is the
about
Wild
this.
West right now with all these different
really
streaming
is.
services. Some come and leave immediately. Some have, stuck around. Like Netflix has been like top tier for so long, but now they're saying that's on the verge of collapsing.
It could.
Now we got Disney Plus is coming. Apple is having their own streaming service that they're dumping a ton of money into. It's too much,
It's too confusing,
Yeah.
especially for the elderly.
like us.
But yeah,
Yeah,
they're just going to watch the news and The Bachelor.
I think that's all they watch anyway, so
Dancing
it's
with
probably
the
okay.
Stars. You can't predict anything
No.
other than the Disney Plus app will be successful. You predict that.
And that the Picard show will suck.
And that the Picard show will suck. Those are the two. Death and Taxes and the Picard show will suck. 150 years after the first Child's Play film and 34 subsequent sequels, we finally get the reboot that no one asked for. Child's Play tells the story of April Ludgate and her stupid son. Polaroids are creepy, hence are more likely to be haunted. That's why that's a good concept for one of those like terrible movies that go in movie theaters. Like your Wish-a-Pons. Oh God! Oh, all the teens run. It's like creepy Polaroids. They're haunted.
My grandfather told me about Polaroids.
Yep.
Can we talk about the best laugh in the whole movie? There's the launch of the Buddy 2 dolls at the toy store at the end, or at the Kmart store. And you got the guy with the big stupid costume on.
Oh yeah.
Chucky slits his throat. He still has the giant head Buddy costume on, and they take it off, and he just starts gushing blood all over a small child, and it just keeps cutting back to her screaming. It's like a Freddy Got Fingered gag.
I know your secret kink, you fucking weirdo. Because you were the only one laughing in the theater. Oh, that's god awful. It's horrific. Oh, that
will
child
say-
is covered with blood and just.
It's executed for laughs, though. And I will say this would have been nice to see. There wasn't a whole lot of people in her theater. There was an elderly man. There's always one elderly man whenever we go see any of these movies. And I always wonder how they ended up there. What life choices they made that brought them to Child's Play at 11 in the morning. But,
So, Jay, would you recommend. What did we watch? Toy Story 4?
yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not a perfect movie script-wise, but I was entertained.
So was that elderly man.
Was he? He went to go to the bathroom during the climax of the film. That's where you're supposed to be, like, glued to your seat. And he's just like, I'm going to go piss. I'm just trying to kill 90 minutes.
Just passing the
I'm
time.
just passing time until I die.
That's why they got the senior rate at the movie theater, Jay.
Yeah.
Just, they know they have nothing else to do.
They'll go see anything.
They'll literally go see anything.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, they walk out because they only paid $1.25. Fuck it. I'll just go take a nap. And they just leave. They have nothing committed to the film.
Yeah.
They just go in, and if it doesn't
It's just something to put in front of their face.
catch them, they just leave. And they leave in the most loud and obtrusive and distracting manner. They get up and they check their seat. Maybell, do you want to bring the popcorn? And they got their walkers and they slowly make their way. And it takes 10 minutes and you're just like, get out. Get out of the way.
So it came out in theaters.
The Fanatic did?
The Fanatic came out in theaters opening day. It made $3,000. It played on 52 screens, which was an average of about $60 per theater.
Wow, Space Cops made more money.
That's true.
It literally is true. But yeah, we are not. This is not a paid endorsement of this film, even though as
That'll
you'll-
become more clear as time goes on.
You'll soon find out. But we just really wanted to talk about this because it's fascinating. Well, as Robert Downey Jr. told us in blackface, never go full Regal, right? So here's John Travolta wearing the worst toupee ever. Clearly a toupee, but it's meant to look like a bad Regal haircut.
It's kind of a mullet, and it's shaved
I don't
on the
know.
sides.
It's amazing.
And he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt every scene.
I thought John Travolta nailed it. and not in a.
But what is it? He's doing this embarrassing English accent. He's practicing in the mirror, which is, I've had it stuck in my head since I saw the movie like a week ago, where he keeps going, Poppycock!
Poppycock! Poppycock!
Travolta is obsessed with Devon Sawa. There's the plot. It's very repetitive. It's like scene where John Travolta tries to interact with him, and Devon Sawa tells him to fuck off.
You say repetitive, I say building tension.
The movie opens with a quote from him, which
Yes.
is a weird choice too.
It is a weird choice. They did whatever they could in post-production to save this movie.
Are we supposed to sympathize with him?
That's
At
the-
you don't, of course, because he's terrifying.
You are
or
supposed to
hysterical,
sympathize.
depending on how you look at it. But that's the thing. It's like, but there is a very clear like humanity to both of them that this movie doesn't have with either of them.
Yeah. No, I mean,
That's a problem.
Well, sure, but I like that ambiguity of like, because I felt that both of these characters could have been real people. Devon Sawa gets both of his arms free and then shoots a shotgun.
That's when the magical shotgun comes out of nowhere.
Yep, and blows John Travolta's fingers off. John Travolta runs away, falls down the stairs. Hunter Dunbar gets all of his ropes off, and then he starts like shooting at him to scare him.
Yeah, I think. Well, he has like his ear rings from
Yeah.
the shotgun blast.
And then he takes out a Rambo knife and stabs him in the eye. John Travolta came in my house with a
With the Jason Voorhees
with
mask.
a bad wig on. But he can now be a really good pirate street performer, because they had a cartoon and it has him with a hook hand, and he stabbed his eye out. So he wears an eye patch and a hook hand, and now he can be a pirate. That is shown in a cartoon.
I don't remember that
Yeah, yeah.
cartoon.
And it's him, and she's behind him, and she has like angel
Oh
wings.
yeah, I remember the wings. Yeah.
Yeah, but he has a pirate hook hand and eye patch because Devon Sawa put a Rambo knife in his eye. So now he could be a really fucking good pirate on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He could even show people, I'm really missing an eye, and make a lot of money and achieve his dreams of making an adequate living as a Hollywood street performer. I found John Travolta's performance very intriguing. I bought his performance as a person with severe mental problems, and I enjoyed it. It's like watching a moderate train wreck. You know what I'm saying?
Where you're like, I see how that could have been prevented.
Right.
Yeah.
That train, like, it hit that orange truck, kind of, to where.
So what is that? Is that Terminator 6?
Yeah, technically this would be the 6th Terminator film, but in actuality it's Terminator 3.
What do you mean it's Terminator 3? I thought Terminator 3 was Terminator 3.
Well, there was a Terminator 3 called Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. And then there was a movie called Terminator Salvation, and then there was Genesis. But now they made this one, and this is actually a sequel to Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
So Terminator 6 is the sequel to Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Well then what is Terminator 3?
Well, Terminator 3 had John Connor in it, and Sarah Connor, the character, was.
Wait, that's John Connor in Terminator 3? But that's a different guy.
Yeah, by the time they made Terminator 3, Edward Furlong was too old and bloated, so they got a guy named Nick Stahl to replace him.
Oh, so that guy in Terminator 3 is also John Connor.
Yes, it's John Connor portrayed by a different actor. It's another Arnold, but this time he's also good.
Oh, wait, what about that Arnold in the fourth one?
The Arnold in the fourth one would be a bad one, because that's Terminator Salvation.
So that's another bad Arnold.
Yes, well, he's only in it at the end, and it's a CGI Arnold.
And who's that guy that bad Arnold's trying to kill? That's John Connor? But that's a different guy.
Yes, this time John Connor is portrayed by Christian Bale.
Batman?
You may remember her from such hit films as Jurassic World and Jurassic World Park.
Oh my God, my brain hurts.
And he raises Sarah Connor from being a little girl.
Wait, that's Sarah Connor?
Yes.
But that's a different girl. Why don't they just go back to the time of dinosaurs? Wait, Is that how Claire Danes ended up in Jurassic World?
Mr. Plinkett, I wish I could go back in time and not answer the phone.
What?
Mike, what did you think of Terminator: The Force Awakens?
B-/C+.
Well, you got to grade it on two things: as just a movie that you can just watch, and as a Terminator 2 sequel.
Okay, first of all, the Terminator franchise is fucked beyond recognition.
That's why I can't get horribly upset about this, even though a lot of the connections are awful.
No, this is the sequel.
Yeah. Which you can't do because those movies exist and we've seen them. And that's why this movie is more watchable, because my expectations for Terminator movies is so low. It's like, this is fine. But if you're watching it as a direct sequel to Terminator 2, the first 5 seconds of the movie are an embarrassment.
But I guess, you know what, though? Like, it didn't negate... Here's another problem. And I'll talk about the positives, too, because there are many things I liked about this movie. But another problem, too, is that the killing of John Connor was utterly pointless at that point. Would it be called Growing Up with Terminator? Oh, my high school prom!
They're more of a mild inconvenience at
My
this
college
point.
graduation! John Connor, do not take that diploma. Oh, God, the birth of my first child, my wedding. Why do you keep showing up at all the important events of my life?
Those darn Terminators, that's what it'll be called.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, John Connor's just trying to live a normal life.
Yeah.
And his mother is always around. She shows up at his job, like armed to the teeth. He's working in a cubicle. I thought today might be the day, John. No, Mom. What's wrong with your mom, dude?
His coworker is the same kid that he was friends with in Terminator 2, the red-haired kid. Terminator 2 is a great movie, and then now it's just a convoluted mess.
Yeah, it's just...
But this movie is still the best sequel since Terminator 2.
Yes.
Which is faint praise, but it's true.
I'd have to rewatch Salvation. I remember thinking that one was okay. There was some kind of motorcycle chase in that I thought was pretty neat.
A lot of people hated that one. Just I don't know. It's not a great Terminator movie, but at least it did something different.
Then halfway through, look, you have a 98-year-old woman who's flying out of a plane inside of a Humvee, crashing onto Hoover Dam, going into the water. Old people just have to turn slightly and they injure themselves. Over time, I learned emotions, and
he killed John Connor, and then he killed John Connor, and then over time he started to feel bad about it.
Yeah, fucking robot.
Cut to the clip of Kyle Reese in Terminator 1 explaining the motivations of a Terminator.
Are you sure about Arnold calling himself Carl and having a loveless marriage out of convenience for some poor woman?
Yeah.
We do not have sex.
Like, you see, like, the promotional images for this movie, and it's, like, the three women walking, and I was like, oh, no. They're going to be, like...
What, you don't support feminist movements, Jay? Some asshole's idea is, like, how about John Connor's the bad guy? Yeah. These movies are like Taco Bell, where there's, like...
the same 5 ingredients.
There's same 5 ingredients, and they just put them in different orders.
That's the best analogy that you could possibly come up with.
And then the thing falls off the dam to the water. And it's like the very first AI prototype that's like kind of like does, the Japanese robots are just like,
Oh, yeah.
And then Sarah Connor just kicks open the door and then just pushes it over and it can't get up.
It's rolling around on the ground. So, Mike, would you recommend Terminator Dark Stool?
Yeah, I would say I didn't hate it. It's kind of like on the fence for me. It was enjoyable to a certain degree. So, Jay, would you recommend Terminator Dark Feces?
Dark Feces? No, I mean, it's watchable. I did like Mackenzie Davis quite a bit in it, and that's kind of about it.
All for just the simplest story.
All for Terminator 2 again.
All for I have to protect you from bad thing.
Yeah.
Or you die and there is no leader. Mm-hmm. That's the plot, and then all the other stuff is just junk. It's just visual junk.
I gotta go take my brain medicine so I can understand the Terminator franchise.
Rise of
Rise of the Retcon?
Spooky? Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker
That's
is
it.
the title of the film that comes out in December that everyone's excited for.
They have 16 different endings.
They're still doing reshoots. They're going to be acting out the ending of the movie live.
Maybe it'll be the first choose your own ending.
There you go. Yeah.
It'll be like that movie Clue when they.
Oh
put that
yeah,
in
they released it
theaters.
in theaters with different endings.
Different endings, yeah.
If they're that desperate for cash, like no one wants to see this movie, so we'll release multiple versions. So the few nerds that do want to see it will see it multiple times.
You know what they could do when you buy your tickets online? You fill out like a questionnaire. What would you like to see in this movie? Good guys win, bad guys win. Emperor comes back.
Okay.
Jedi Order restored. Like da 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 da.
So then they make the movie.
Well, that it's like what, like when you fill out one of those like clickbait surveys. Which character are you in this? And then you follow all the questionnaire, and then at the end, it tells you like the results.
Yeah.
And so that they base what movie screening you go to. You have to see the movie at this theater at this time. Oh, great. Rey killed Palpatine. Kylo Ren restored his faith in the Force, and Rey and Kylo worked together to restore a new Jedi Order. Oh, well, the version I saw, Palpatine came back to life and turned Rey to the dark side, and Kylo Ren turned good and killed Rey. Oh my gosh.
But if it's tailored so that everybody gets what they want, then what are people going to endlessly argue about on the internet?
Which ending was better?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, this'll open a whole slew of arguments, Jay. I think this is the way to go, and I think Martin Scorsese is just going to love this idea. He's just going to love it. Tailor-made cinema. I'm trademarking that. Kevin Feige. Oh, I still use paper because I'm a boomer. Okay, boomer. What is that device?
Does that make me a zoomer?
Yes.
Okay.
Filmmaking is based on exactly how they want to present it.
Yeah.
Unless it's The Rise of Skywalker. That's different. Yesterday. I did not see it yesterday, but I saw Yesterday.
You saw what yesterday?
Yesterday.
I don't even have the energy to do the bit.
Just say who's on first. You boomer. What's who's on first? I'm gonna Google that. What the fuck?
I don't know his own.
Kind of like how Elton John probably would have loved it, even though he's not dead.
I was gonna
I'm
say
sure
he's
he
still
loved it.
alive, right?
He's definitely still alive. But yeah,
Everybody was pissed off when he came to Milwaukee for the 100-year Harley Davidson
I know,
rally.
that's embarrassing. Elton John's got some rockers. Come on.
Not if you're a 300-pound bearded guy in a leather vest. You don't want to listen to Elton John.
You don't really want to hear Candle in the Wind.
I'm gonna fucking blow out that candle with my exhaust. The fuck off the stage. This the opening act for AC/DC. Bring out ZZ Top, not ZZ Bottom.
That joke was forming in my head as I said it.
That's amazing. And then the last 15 minutes really changes things from the story to the point of ludicrousy, where I was practically laughing at how
Ludacris
stupid it
is in
was.
it? His big news story was lately was that he applied for a job at P.F. Chang's.
What?
Yes.
Just cause he's Bill Murray?
Yes, because he's Bill Murray. He was at it was an airport P.F. Chang's in some
didn't hear
random
about this.
city. Yeah, and he's like and he filled out the application for P.F. Chang's while he was there, and he's like, it looks like it would be fun. And then he left, and they're like, hey, we'll hire you, Babadook.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Babadook.
That director has a new movie out. I haven't seen it yet.
Hobbs and Shaw.
That's what they do. You made an independent film that was mildly successful. Now we're going to give you Fast and Furious 12.
You know what's on tonight? The 2-hour Ghost Adventures show that it's on Halloween night, and I'm going to watch it. I saw The Curse of La Llorona.
It's technically connected to the Conjuring universe, right? Nobody cares.
Sure it is.
Does Annabelle make an appearance?
No.
Well, Annabelle got her own movie again this year.
I think it was the ghost lady lost a child, and so she wants to take your child. And then it ended. That's all I got on that. That's all I got. I don't
Wow, what
remember.
a shit year for movies.
I don't. Yeah, it's cheap to make. Teenagers watch it.
Horror
Spooky.
film. Yeah. Although I think that one did flop, I think. You gotta have something more to it.
Not really. What else you got? I saw Ma with Octavia Spencer. Because Octavia Spencer is great. You know, she's a great actress.
Yeah, she's good.
I've seen her in nothing, but she's a great actress. Can I talk about the elephant in the room?
What is the elephant in the room? Is it The Last Jedi?
That none of this,
Matters?
that this is not my fault.
No, any amount of hate that Star Wars has ever gotten in the last 10 years is all specifically your fault, Mike.
Well, first of all, the idea that Mr. Plinkett saying J.J. Abrams would make a great director for Star Wars movies had absolutely no impact on J.J. Abrams being chose to direct The Force Awakens, okay? Zero.
You don't know that.
I guess I don't. But I never said he should write it with the guy who wrote Batman versus Superman. Couldn't they have grabbed literally anyone? Palpatine's direct daughter, who got killed, remember? Her and the husband were like stolen and they were stabbed. Why wasn't she poised to be Empress Palpatine?
Because
Why-
none of
why
this
did
was
he kill her?
planned. Look, it's Lando! We've moved on!
Like,
Chewbacca's getting a medal! Shut up and watch!
If we move fast enough, nobody will notice.
I mean,
This is like, because I think we talked about that with Into Darkness. That was like the extreme example of, just keep the thing moving. This is like Into Darkness times 100.
why there were no other Palpatines, I have no idea.
Look, it's Maz Kanata!
It negates Vader's sacrifice of throwing him down the pit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, but who cares anymore? Who gives a shit?
I know a lot of people don't like Rey anyway, but, you know.
Well,
start
you're
it out.
definitely not going to like this if you don't like Rey.
If you're one of those diehard, like, I hate Rey because she's a Mary Sue, here she's like healing wounds. She's like Jesus. Yeah. It's like they like they're trolling the people that don't like Rey with this one. Why don't we do that maneuver that Holdo did? And they're like, ignore that. It's too risky.
It's a 1 in a million shot.
We can't do it again because the movie has to happen. I don't know. And it was like an 80-yard line. It's like they thought of it later.
Yeah. As they say, that's a 1 in a million shot. It'll never work.
Yeah.
Why not?
And then the movie keeps going.
Yeah. But anyway, Marriage Story.
It got lost in the mail. She found it in the same spot she found Luke's lightsaber.
Oh,
from Bespin.
yeah. But that's a story for another time that we never got to.
We haven't gotten all the navigational beacons in stock yet. They're on order.
He hasn't willed them into existence yet.
Yeah, he's still working on that. Why didn't you do that first, Palpatine? It takes him like a year of dedicated concentration with Sith magic to will a Star Destroyer into existence.
She looks like she's laughing. She looks like she's holding back laughing when she pulls out that red lightsaber. It's like she doesn't care anymore, does she?
I think they said have a devilish grin.
That didn't come across at all.
Yeah, it came off as her thinking this whole thing was a farce. Man, it's true.
How did Rey know where that little farmhouse was?
She's just there. She found it on Google Maps. It's in Tunisia.
Don't think about it. It's emotional. It's emotional, Jay.
The Force.
The Force.
Oh, the Force.
Force, emotions, Force.
And why was that random old lady just in the middle of fucking nowhere?
So that she could say the line, I'm Rey Skywalker.
I'm just a Skywalker now. I've just decided it.
I'm shocked that wasn't a callback to somebody.
There's very few characters it could be.
What's Watto? Super elderly Watto.
It could have been that super old lady who said, "My bones are aching, Annie. There's a storm coming." Do you remember her?
No,
You don't?
I don't remember. I've
My
seen
bones are aching? Is that what she says?
She warns them of the dust storm that's coming.
Oh, my bones are aching. Storm's coming up, Annie. You better get home quick.
Everything every other character did was boring. Remember the magic space dagger?
Oh God, that disappeared.
It had Sith runes on it.
It knew to line up with the crashed remains of the Death Star. And it's got ancient Sith runes on it.
The Force, Rich.
Oh, the Force. It's not sloppy writing. It's the Force.
We constantly tried to get George Lucas to give C-3PO some kind of moment. Oh. And it was like, how about C-3PO does this? I tried to give him a little humanity. And George's response was always, he's always scared. And then he would come up to George Lucas again, and George, here's a moment where C-3PO could save the day. And, no, he's always scared.
That moment in
Like
this.
it's great listening to. I don't particularly like Anthony Daniels. I think he's kind of
a
full
little
of himself.
arrogant, yeah.
But that when he tells that story, George Lucas just shut him down every time. He's always scared. Shut up. And then he eventually gave up. So that was probably Anthony Daniels, his ego pushing up. I got to do something heroic in my final film as the world's greatest character ever invented, because I play him.
I still think it might be his corpse from, well, at least his charred body from the Death Star explosion.
He landed on his fingers. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
he felt fingers first. When he was shooting.
broke a nail.
He was falling into the core, and then when it blew up, that pushed him like away, and that's why he survived.
We have nothing for Finn, Poe, Rose, C-3PO, R2-D2, BB-8, Eeyore?
Who?
Or Igor?
Well, they're still they have nothing for those characters to do, and they're still introducing new characters.
It's not Zana, is it? Then the two new characters in this are Zana and Zori.
I think so.
Really?
Someone's getting lazy.
Maybe one's Yanni.
That would be a shock if Yanni showed up in this film. Two out of focus females in the background kiss. So progressive. Way to go, Disney.
He did that thing where he's like, "Hey, Kerry Russell." He's like, "Huh?" And then she goes,
Did you see that?
"Yes."
Yeah.
Were your eyes closed during the film? At the end,
I had to take a mental break.
she's still wearing her stupid helmet because it's not actually Kerry Russell. She's in one scene where her eyes. I think her and J.J. Abrams had a joke. They said,
We're gonna tell people you're in the movie.
No. How little can you be in this movie, and how much money from the back end can you make? And it's like a private joke. They said
See your eyes for 5 seconds. Yeah.
and the rest of the time it's just and she did her voiceover in like the sound booth for like an afternoon. So she was on camera, her eyes for 10 seconds, and then she was in the sound studio for half a day, right? And
now she's gonna make $10 million.
yes, at least a couple million. And she had a body double, like in her Zori Bliss costume. 'Cause
That's
she
someone
never
else.
took her helmet off.
Yeah.
But at the end, she's you don't even see her face. And Poe is like, huh? He's doing like a, how about you and I? Like
He started doing this, which I thought was weird for Star Wars.
yeah, Finn is not in love with Rose
Yeah.
because remember she's like, I want to come with you. He's like, no, stay back. And then he pats her on the shoulder. He's like, do you remember that? He's like, stay back, buddy.
She's clearly in the friend zone.
She's been put in the friend zone even though she smooched him in The Last Jedi.
Disney's market research says they don't want you in this much of the film. You stay here.
And she basically almost killed herself to save him. Like, and then he gives her, for that, she gets a pat on the shoulder and stay back here, buddy. Is this a new term, passive progressive? It's like a play on passive aggressive? Because remember, what's it, Josh Gad's like minor character? in
Beauty
that?
and the Beast, yeah. He's a supporting character. He's gay. You see him dancing with a guy in one shot.
And George Lucas was, he was the second luckiest man in show business after Ringo Starr. I got this space thing with there's a monster or
You
something. Yeah, hundreds of talented people make this work.
You say the second luckiest? George Lucas sold Star Wars for $4 billion, motherfucker.
Now, all right. The comments that say, well, now do the prequels look so bad?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They're not better because these new ones aren't great. It doesn't somehow make the prequels better.
Prequels still are bad.
Like, literally none of the characters in the prequels are likable or interesting.
And the
they're
stories
all-
make no sense, and everything about those movies. And that's the thing with this, like, they look great, the effects are great, the actors are good, and it's just, it's the stories that's lacking. I will say, at least the prequels are fun to make fun of. There's so many baffling, weird things in them, and these new movies are just so bland and kind of forgettable.
What do you do with Star Wars now? Where do you go?
There's a whole bunch of high-paid people asking themselves this question right now as they watch the reviews come in.
Are we doing recommendations?
No.
No, we're not doing them, or no, you wouldn't recommend it?
Well, not if you're prone to seizures. There was a sign outside the theater that said that.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Turn the speed of the movie down to like 1/4 speed.
Feeling, fuck, I'm not gonna have a panic attack.
That's the new option by Netflix, to watch your movie at 25% speed.
Yeah. So you don't feel like you're having a heart attack from Star Wars?
Here's a magical space coin. This will grant you access to any Star Destroyer.
Oh, that's what that was.
I'm giving this to you, Poe, for use in scene 312.
They were infiltrating the Death Star, and they had to be very fucking careful not to get
Well, then
caught.
the guys go in with the equipment, and then you
Yes.
hear the noises.
Hey, can you give us a hand down here? The stormtroopers go up to find out what was that noise. Then they steal their costumes. Then they do this whole thing where they have Chewbacca as their prisoner.
They come down, they pretend the
Yeah, the
communicator's not working.
TK421, why aren't you responding? And TK421 has a problem with this trans. Oh my God, it's Chewbacca! He's murdering me! And then they have this whole plan.
Or you just have somebody say, "How'd the ship get on here?"
That's the perfect scene comparison, because it's basically the same scene.
Yeah.
Where there's two stormtroopers, and they just come out guns blazing and murder them in this giant hangar bay, where there are windows everywhere, security cameras.
The scene's 30 seconds long as opposed to 5 minutes.
Oh, it was like 8 seconds, Jay. And then they just run out.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna storm, and they're just shooting everyone in the hallways.
Now, let's talk about The Mandalorian.
Can I give my recommendation, Jay?
Absolutely.
No! I don't want to say if you legitimately like this film, you have a low IQ, but if you legitimately like this film, you have a low IQ. Because you are watching all the things happen so fast, and the critical part of your brain that kicks in, that's supposed to kick in.
It doesn't have
But
time to.
Wait a minute. It keeps going by. It's like being on some kind of roller coaster ride where you can't even process.
It's like you're on the little cart going through the haunted house, but none of the scares are very spooky, so they just have the car go by really fast. Well, was that a monster? Oh, was that a what?
You know what I think was the saddest part too? Forgettable. The score was for being an exclusive John Williams score was forgettable.
Yeah.
Except for the moments where you're supposed to remember things when they would bring up the old music.
Leia's theme and
Yes.
all that stuff.
Certain, like when she walks into the Death Star's throne room, you get that.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
So the old stings that would come in throughout with the rest of
Yeah.
Rey has a theme. I like her theme.
What is her theme?
Do 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 do. It's very whimsical. It's different than the
Okay.
other stuff. So. Hey, it's something from the series that I remembered.
News to me. It's news to me. Ray's theme. What the fuck are you talking about?
Ray's theme from Ghostbusters? Does Ray have a theme?
Ray Parker Jr.'s theme.
Oh
from Ghostbusters?
yeah, that's a great theme. Yeah, that's
I quit. I quit Star Wars. I'm done. I'm never talking about Star Wars again. Bye.
See when we talk about The Mandalorian.
We'll see when we talk about the Picard series and Ghostbusters 2020 and everything else that's coming out that just continues to ruin our lives. We've never addressed our George Lucas bust.
Oh, is that who that is? I thought it was Bob Vila.
Goodbye, everybody.
I had a chuckle because the Hands Across America thing, because I remember that shit, because I did that shit.
Oh my God.
And I have a lovely little story to tell.
Okay.
My mom was like, we're doing Hands Across America. Put a quarter in the bucket, and we're gonna stand here and hold hands with a bunch of strangers down this sidewalk. I was like, this is so stupid. I'm like, what? I learned many lessons that day as a wee lad. I was like, this is the dumbest thing in the world because this isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
This is just some kind of showy thing. And people are still hungry. So it didn't solve any fucking problems. But we're all standing there and on the sidewalk, a very long amount of people. And I'm like, how long do we have to do this for? This sucks. Just shut up and do it. It's helping the homeless somehow. Then, out of nowhere, a guy in like dirty jeans, and I remember he had long, dirty hair and a big like handlebar mustache. He comes out into the middle of the street and goes, okay, here's what we're gonna do, everybody. I'm gonna need everybody to come on out this way. We're moving the line, everybody. And I'm like, what? And so everybody goes out into the middle of the street. And then the guy runs away and traffic starts coming. And everybody scatters. And that was the day I learned to avoid groupthink. We have to go get a drug that will kill me. What do they call it? Assisted suicide, right? It's legal in Seattle. They should tell some of the homeless about that. Jesus, it just comes out.
Oh my God. It's the most horrendous thing you've ever said in the last 5 seconds.
I laughed into my own coffee.